If we're going to be effective speakers, we have this single excellent instrument to use, which is the sound making organ that we use when we speak and when we present. And so I'm going to spend a little bit of time over the next couple weeks reintroducing you to some of the fundamental sounds of English. We'll also be using this information as you are working on your recitation text. And one of the ways of thinking about this vowel work is that it's tuning or training the instrument. It's practicing, it's honing up the particularities of your very, very particular voice. And so we're going to review the sounds of English and specifically the vowel sounds of English. So I want to start with this sound. It's the oo sound. The oo sound that you hear in the word moon or spoon or tune. And I want you to actually say this out loud. You have to stand up and watch these videos in your room or someplace where you can make some noise. So the oo sound, for our purposes, we would walk around, shake our bones, and so on and so forth. But for our purposes, I want you to imagine that the oo sound is this big, round, dark sound. If it were a color, it might be the color of dark purple. And in our bodies, oo wants to move down. So to warm up the sound of the oo sound, we're going to take our toes and we're going to nail them on the ground. You can feel the balls of your feet. And then you're going to use your knees to actually send the sound down into the ground. So it's going to go like this. Z, with a Z sound, you're going to make zoo, 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 zoo. This low, dark, it's in the word root. It's in the word stew, a thick, heavy. It's in the word glue. So the oo sound has this rooting, heavy, dark, rich, downward sound that grounds so many of the important words that you'll be saying in your speeches. So that's one example of a particular English sound, its shape, its directionality, its weight. Zoo is very heavy. So now I want to go to another one, and this is the ah sound that's in the word father. So say it with me a couple times. Father, 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 bother. It's in the word bother, father, bother. And you'll notice if we go ah, and if we add an M sound to the ah, you can really get a sense of how this sound works. So take your fingers touching your chest right here, and with an M go and really feel that buzz on your face with that M. Ma! And you can send the ah right out through your fingertips. Here, I'll back up so you can, ma! And you'll feel a stretch across your rib muscles and into your arms. And you'll notice that the ah sound, if oo is heavy and dark and gooey, the ah sound is dry and it's spread and it's big. If it were a color, it would be a bright color. It would be a yellow, or one student used to say the color of the beach on a sunny day. Ma! And it's a really spread sound. Ah, it wants to open up our mouth, the back of our soft palate, spread our lips open. I'm quite convinced if we could walk around outside going, ma, ma, we would never need antidepressants. It is a bright and positive and lovely sound. So one more just to give you a sense of how big the range of the energy and pitch is in English sound system. The last sound we're going to do today is the E sound that's in the word me. Say me, me. It's in the word see or in the word a cup of tea, E. And for our purposes, I want you to imagine, say it a couple times, E, 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 E. So for our purposes, you can hear it wants to be high. It's really high energy. It wants to go up. If you give this sound to little 5-year-olds on the playground, before long they'll be spinning around going yippee, yeehaw. It's in all of these exclamations. It's in the word glee, in the word hee 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 hee, in the word yeehaw. So for our purposes, I want you to imagine this sound. You could gather it off the very top of your skull, with your fingers pressed up just like this. And with an R sound, we can send the sound right up to the heavens. I gotta back up again. It's gonna go like this. 1, 2, ready, go. Ree, ree, way up high. So we have this wide 3-octave range in the English voice. Ree, zoo. We can play around. And these are 3 of the sounds. We'll go through all 11 over the next several weeks so you can really get a sense of them. But right now you can also put them together. We have this dark purple heavy down zoo, 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 zoo. You can feel it pulling forward in your face. We have this ma 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 ma, this wide spready, great sunshiny and then we have this last but not least ree, this high energy ree, and we can go right back down. Ree, ma, zoo. So as silly, as ridiculous, and as fun as that is in your skeleton, in your frame, notice that it's also a great way to wake up your breathing, activate your muscles for the work of speaking. It's also a very lovely way to sort of get blood flowing into our faces. The zoo, zoo, zoo really helps us bring those lips forward so we can have that strong forward sound. The helps us spread and a great big yawny a spreading sound so that we have space in the back of our mouth. And the ree activates that tongue, activates the hard bones of your skull and your jaw and your neck so that they can resonate with energy and light and sense. So welcome to your first introduction to 3 vowels. As we move on, we'll do several of these each week, and you'll be able to put together the entire vowel dance warm-up as a way of tuning yourself up, getting your energy ready, and if you will, toning up this fabulous voice-making sound. For many of us, we have other languages on our tongue. We may have Spanish, we may have Twi, we may have any number of Pakistanis have some Bengali. I have many students who come from the East who have Chinese and Japanese and Korean in their mouth. So even though you may have sounds like this in your first language, ooh or ah, they're different in English. The ooh in English is much heavier and rounder and more forward than the ooh in French, for example. So this is a great way, especially if you're bouncing back between languages, going back and forth. I want to give you an opportunity to learn the particularities of the English sounds so that they can serve the clarity and the energy of your talks. All right, I'll see you in a bit.